I really always feel like we're moving forward. In this game, you got to look ahead all the time. And, this time last year, if you would have told me that we'd have Alcides Escobar, Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon all signed to long-term contracts and a part of our future, I'd feel great about it. And the experience that Mike Moustakas and Eric Hosmer receiving is going to be tremendous for us going forward. Billy Butler continues to emerge as really one of the very best young hitters in the game, perhaps other than Miguel Cabrera, maybe the best overall right-handed hitter in the game. He's continuing to get better. Lorenzo Cain, Dyson, we needed to see them healthy. I mean, that's been the biggest disappointment from a personnel standpoint, is that Lorenzo Cain hasn't been able to stay healthy. But I'm pleased with our bullpens perform. Certainly want to win more games. Our goal is to win a world championship here. And Mr. Glass and Dan have done a tremendous job, truthfully, of giving us every resource necessary to build this farm department and build our scouting staff to have these young players emerge at the major league level, but also have more players continuing to rise. And, our guys have done a tremendous job just embracing who we are. We don't make excuses for our market. We're going to compete in every avenue available for us to sign players, and free agency is a part of that. The trade market is a part of that, and certainly internally with our farm system. But we've got to be aggressive in all those phases, and I'm very pleased with where we are.
You mentioned earlier that you don't make excuses for the market size that you're in. And in baseball, for your performance on the field, you don't make excuses either. However, were you foreseeing 4 Tommy Johns on your staff, 2 of your top starters, Paulino and Duffy, going down with Tommy John, Cain getting hurt, missing almost the full season, Salvador Perez wasn't even here just up to the All-Star break? How do you deal with that? I mean, that's a legitimate excuse on top of the 12-game losing streak. What do you tell people? I mean, those are legitimate reasons.
Well, you don't make excuses for it, because it's part of the game. Everybody experiences setbacks. We have a tremendous medical team. I feel like our players are prepared to compete as good as any team can be, especially from a physical and mental standpoint. The growth level of our players are at a certain stage, obviously, and they're learning their bodies and learning how to compete over an entire 162-game schedule, and injuries are a part of it, and we've got to be able to adjust. And fortunately, we have more depth today in our organization than we've had in the past. We'll continue to deal with that. We'll get all those guys back. We'll get Duffy back. We'll get Paulino back. We'll get Blake Wood, and Joaquin Soria obviously is going to be a free agent at the end of the season, and we'll work to get him signed.
You have conversations with Mr. Glass all the time, but he injected some life into the fan base when he came out last week and said he's all for you having the resources to go out and improve the starting rotation the way you see best fit.
Well, it's always been that way. We've always felt that whenever we were in a position to put our baseball team in a position to win more games, Mr. Glass has always been very supportive of that opportunity. In 2009, as you recall, September of actually 2008, we won 18 games. I think in September, Mike Aviles was 3rd in the Rookie of the Year balloting. Gil Mesh, Zach Greinke had finished, I think, 8th in the American League in strikeouts, and we were feeling really good about our team. We didn't feel that the American League Central was going to be unreachable or unwinnable in 2009, and we were very aggressive. We stretched the payroll to about 76, 77 million at the time, and upped it quite a bit, and that was through the conversations that Dan and I had together. And we felt that this team would compete and had a chance to win, and we started off 18-11 or whatever it was, Ryan, as you recall, and we just didn't stay healthy, and our farm system wasn't built to a point where we could recover from some of those injuries.
I don't know, since I've been here, and we're talking 14 years, that the Royals have been in a position where they've made a big trade with a player that didn't really need to be traded, if that makes sense. I mean, Zach had expressed an interest in being traded, so right. That's where you are, and you make that deal. But you're in a position now where you got some guys you probably want to hang on to and don't want to trade, but that's just part of the business.
To execute a trade that is impactful, you got to have good players to trade, and Zach Greinke is a perfect example. We had a player who was a Cy Young Award winner, and we were able to execute a deal that really improved our baseball team. But you're exactly right. Everybody's looking for the same thing. Everybody wants to upgrade their pitching, or you want to trade for a 3 or 4 hole hitter, or a shortstop, or a catcher. That's who primarily are what teams are looking for. So, you know, we have to always be open-minded with deals that make sense. There's a lot of very creative baseball people out there that come up with ideas. It's our job to explore. It's our job to listen and ask questions, and that's what we'll do, and that's what we've been doing. We've got to have pitchers that have a mindset of a number one. They don't have to go out there and perform. The pitches don't have to actually have the characteristics of a number one starter, because, truthfully, we can sit here and debate that Justin Verlander may be the only number one starter in our division. There's certainly at times certain pitchers that perform maybe for a 2-3 week period that perform like number ones, but we want to have pitchers that have the mindset of a number one. That means they're going to prepare, they're going to hold runners, they're going to field their positions, they're going to compete. They're not going to make excuses. They're not going to battle umpires. They're going to work with their defense and work with their catcher and you know, be a great teammate. And so those are the types of pitchers that we need to develop and cultivate, and we need to bring into this organization.
Alex had a career season last year. Billy's had some big years, but they continue to get better.
They really do. And you know, our first organizational meeting in 2007, one of the things that we discussed is that Alex Gordon and Billy Butler need to turn into players, and then we need to have a wave of young players behind them. And our goal was by 2012-13 that the majority of our core players reflect homegrown talent. And you know what J.J. Piccolo and Scott Sharp and Lonnie Goldberg and Rene Francisco and Mike Arbuckle have done to help us build this system has just been terrific.
Dayton, I know you would have done this for us any day of the season. You've always been up front and answering questions, and we got one more game after tonight, but thanks a lot for stopping by and answering the questions.
You and Hud, thanks for everything. Appreciate it.